Right. So we're recording. Oh my gosh, here we are. It's the Nikken Women Creating Wealth time for us, and it's Wednesday, March 28th. It's the last Wednesday of the month, and then we will have another one next week on April 4th. So, and that's my son's birthday, so it's kind of fun to do that on that day. And I think it's International Women's Day next week on that day as well. At least that's what my calendar told me. So either it's correct or it's not correct. But I'm excited that we're here, and I want to always encourage you to bring, at least one new person on every time so that we grow the call. Because the bigger we grow the call, the more attraction that we have, of course, for other people. I am putting them to YouTube, and then I'm uploading them to Facebook, and also to our women's WhatsApp. Finally figured that out, so that was exciting. And also to our Facebook group. So I'm putting it in a few places so you can find it easily and share. But please do encourage people to get on the call. And please just settle down now and with your video so we can see your face and we don't have too much distraction. So Candace, if you can, we can see your face. That would be awesome. And yeah, there we go. Yes, beautiful. Okay, well, first of all, happy spring. Happy spring to everybody. I'm excited. It's springtime. The crocuses are coming up outside. And I had to tell you initially a very short dream I had that I thought was very pertinent to our call and what we're doing with Nikken as women. So this dream was of a huge grand mesa. And I found out the largest one in the world is in Colorado. Who knew? I had no idea. Candace, please settle down just so we can have calm on the videos. And also Bertha, we can't see you now, so there you go. Great, so this Grand Mesa, on the top of it, I was sort of flying, watching the top. All these women were there, and they all had their own little garden. And everybody had a really old-fashioned kind of tiller thing. I've never farmed in my life, so I don't really know what it was, but the dream knew what it was. We all had one, and we were all fertilizing our part of the land. So we all had like an oval shape, like an egg shape of potential, and we were all fertilizing that part of the land. And we were all very, very harmonious and very happy working together, yet independently. It was an incredible dream. And I really felt this dream was important. I felt like this dream is us and Nikken. I feel like the women are going to just take this and run. Nikken is a very, very feminine concept. It's a feminine vehicle. It's about healing. It's about restoration. It's about fertilizing and growing people. It's very feminine. And I've always called it, the feminine, as in like goddess energy, feminine energy. That is how I see Nikken for our world. I was at a dinner party last night, and everyone was talking about health as the most important thing. Health, restoration. And we know it is. So we have a big mission to accomplish together, but this dream on the top of the mountain was really spectacular. And I had to share it with you because I just felt, what is this about? I felt this is about us. This is about us fertilizing our own business, our own Nikken business, and growing it and nourishing it, but all together and all connected. So that's the first thing I wanted to chat about. And of course, the earth is Gaia. The energy of the earth is extremely feminine. We have the 4 elements, 2 of which are very feminine, the earth and the water. And then the air and the fire tend to be classified as a more masculine energies. So we have all 4. So that was the first thing. The next thing that I just wanted to share with you is that I went to see The Greatest Showman the other day, the film, The Greatest Showman. I hope you've all seen it, because the key points of this beautifully made film are that it's about vision into manifestation. That this young boy has all these visions. He's very, very poor, but he finds his way to bring them to fruition, to manifest them, to ground them on the planet. And it's a really good learning. And a couple of things came forward about it strongly to me that I wanted to share. One was the boldness that he had to accomplish these visions. The boldness, the courage, the risk that he took. Entrepreneurs take risks. Entrepreneurs always take risks. And most of our risks are connecting with others and the emotional possibility of rejection, which we're going to be talking about a little later, but also financial risk. We all take financial risk. And I'm going to just stop the video there. And it's important to understand that if you read any entrepreneurs, you know, and more, we hear more about the male ones, you know, Richard Branson or whatever, they take massive financial risk. And in this film, he takes huge risk. He borrows money from the bank and so forth to take risks to manifest the visions. And what's interesting is that there is a point where everything collapses and he recreates. And I think it's so powerful because we will all have cycles where we're manifesting really well and cycles where things are breaking down, because we're all on the wheel of life and the wheel of fortune, and that wheel turns and everybody ends up having an experience of different places on the wheel at any given time. You'll have the experience of the highest of successes and the lowest of the lows. And it's about, you know, that fortitude within to recreate anew. And that film really talks about it. I have a young consultant who's 29, a gentleman, Kai, and I said, Kai, you're always full of visions. Please go see this film. I know it's really going to touch you. And he did. And he called me and said, I cried almost the whole way through. And I said, I know, I understand, because I also was extremely moved by what he did and how he celebrated the differences of all people. And that's the real core cultural message, is he celebrates the differences, the nuances, the oddities in our world, and brings everyone together and gives everybody a home. And, you know, I think that's like for us in Nikken, we're all different. We're so different. And I love it. I love it that we are, but we bring our nuances, you know, our different goddess energy, our different fairy energy, we bring it here and we share together and we find what works for us. So, and we celebrate each other. So, but the risk piece was huge to me, and the rewards that he got, the risk and reward. So remember that when you're taking risk, you will have reward, and the rewards will come in different ways. Emotional rewards, spiritual rewards, financial rewards, you know, well-being rewards, health rewards, obviously. Your rewards will come in different ways, and just know that your rewards are coming. And if you're not seeing them yet, remember we're fertilizing that soil, and you know we're getting ready for spring. And Hattie Jane, I might just stop your video, sweetheart, just because of the movements. I'm going to stop your video if you don't mind for a little bit here whilst you're driving. So, and it's no offense, it's just so that everybody can have a kind of calm experience of our calls and not be kind of thrown. Including me, because it's hard. So that was the key thing, the Wheel of Fortune, the failure, the success, we're all going to go through it. And so I've been listening, you know, as always, listening to a lot of things. I just signed up for Eric Worre's new social media mastery course. I don't know if you've seen that. I haven't even started that yet. Brendan Burchard, of course. And then I was listening to this brain-a-thon the other day with John Assaraf and some of his guests. It was on Saturday. It was, you know, often these things are free online. You can watch and then decide if you want to purchase the package. And one of the things he was talking about, and he's not somebody I totally resonate with, I will be honest. However, it was interesting and I was curious, and it was about just alignment for success. His call was specifically about creating wealth and about spiritual alignment. And I think that is terribly, terribly important. And I was just playing with these words, spiritual success, you know, spiritual victory, and ultimately mastery. We're looking at self-mastery with Nikken. Why we grow in that compensation plan, that's an alchemical plan. Silver, gold, platinum, diamond, Royal Diamond is an alchemical plan to teach us about soul growth. And as we grow, and of course, we're manifesting action, we grow up that ladder as we help others. So it's always learning about interdependence versus, you know, being independent or dependent, or, you know, there are lessons that we all need to learn. And that's why it's such an exciting plan, because it's about growth. So I want you to think about, and you can make notes for yourself on what is spiritual success for you, and what is victory for you, and what is mastery for you, self-mastery. And we're looking at it through the Nikken lens, of course. And so I'm going to touch on some of the points that this neuroscientist, this lady from Australia, I forget her name, but she talked about a few things. And then I'm going to go into another piece. A lot I want to cover with you and hear from you with. So I'm going to go through these fast because I want to open this up.
Julie,
yes,
do you know you're paused for recording?
No, it isn't. It's recording.
It's
recording. It is, I think. I think it's recording. It says recording.
Yes, it is.
It's a little light. It's okay, but thank you for saying that. That's a good thing to know, if it was. So I'm going to go through these 6 points pretty rapidly because they're very simple. And then I want to talk more about our spiritual victory and about rejection and how you deal with both those things, because rejection is the biggest thing we get, and you can expect it because you're going to get it. And how do we deal with that and get back in alignment with our spiritual certainty and our power and not be disempowered by rejection? So that's why I want to spend the most of our call today is on those things. And just think about, you know, what do you do when you're rejected? And I'll tell you some things I do. But so this, going back to this brain-a-thon, so we know we have to have, you know, good, healthy heart, you know, loving heart, blessings to all. But, you know, we do need to kind of train the brain. We do need to train our brains. And the older we get, the more we need to train our brain, because it gets more fixated on the way things are according to GARP, right? According to the way we think they are. So here were 6 points. The refiring to rewire the brain is what she called it. Refiring to rewire the brain. And the first is reason. Why? Why are you doing this in the first place? Why? We know your mission, your purpose is absolutely critical. Why? What is it you want? You know, I want nothing less than heal the world. I mean, I want to heal the world. I'm serious about it. I'm very committed. I'm very passionate. I want to heal our world, and I want to bring it my best shot while I'm on the planet. And I want to do it with others. I don't want to do it alone. I know that. So I love to do it with others. So reason. The second is engage. Everyone needs a mentor. Everyone needs a coach to teach you how, to teach you and help you. So find a mentor and a coach. You can find mentors and coaches outside of Nikken, of course, and then find one, at least one in Nikken that you really are being mentored by, that you're working very closely with, and that you're really talking with, you know, almost, not maybe daily, that might be a little bit overkill, but, you know, certainly weekly, for sure, certainly on a weekly basis. And I certainly do with mine. So, you know, every week we're talking at least once or twice a week. We're catching up. Where's it? What's happening? Who are you talking to? What have we done the 3 ways? You know, those kind of things. So engagement is very, very important. Don't try and do it alone, because we can't do it alone. It doesn't work. It's not effective. Feel was the third one. So this is the refire, the you know, feel, the sweet spot of feeling, the flow. Where is the flow? And you've got to be able to get into flow in order to do anything well in this life. Flow is critical. Read about flow, understand flow. It's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It's when all systems are on fire. Athletes know about flow very, very well. And you do too, because we all go into flow, whether you're cooking a great dinner or, there's flow. You're hiking a mountain, whatever you're doing, there's flow involved. The more flow, the better it goes. So feel was the sweet spot of feeling where you feel really joyful, you feel really happy, you feel really generous, and you're out there in flow with the world. The fourth one is imagine. We talk a lot about this in Nikken, visualization, engaging all of your senses in the visualization. So if it's your next step to go diamond or to go gold, whatever it is, to visualize it every day, to be looking at your life cycle plan, to dance it, to get it in your body. I'm so happy to now be a gold consultant. You've got to feel it, smell it, taste it. Success is you got to own it before you can have it. So you really have to own it inside. So you want to embody success long before you're going to get it, and do that every day. And don't look so serious, Marianne, darling. It's a good thing. She's like so serious. So that's the imagining. So we do talk a lot about that in Nikken, but we do forget it because the next two are the fifth one is repeat, practice over and over. And this is the hard work. This is what we all forget. It's like, yeah, I know I need to visualize, but actually, am I visualizing every single day? Am I saying every single day, I'm successful? I found my team. I love them. They're working with me. They love me. We're all together on this, right? Are we doing it? And so she said, that's the hard work, is the practice over and over, because it feels kind of boring and tedious, but you're retraining your brain. You're really rewiring it. And that requires a daily practice. And then the last was extend, which is practice till you cannot get it wrong. Practice, bless you. Practice till you cannot get it wrong. So I was like, wow, that means seriously every day retraining the brain, refiring to rewire the brain. That is like a serious but joyful practice. So those were her 6 steps: reason, engage, feel, imagine, repeat, extend. So repeat and extend are really similar. Repeat is practicing over and over the hard work, and extending is practicing till you cannot get it wrong. So I thought those were great tips. So we're speaking about spiritual success and victory and self-mastery, and that's really the Nikken plan is human growth, humans being more. That really is the best thing we've got going. It's even more exciting than the products, though I think they're off the charts exciting. And it's even more exciting than the business and making a lot of money. It's our growth. It's becoming really a master of self and growing. So that's self-mastery. And then there's rejection. And that's the hardest thing we have to deal with, is a rejection. And we're going to get it. And you may as well expect it, because it is going to happen. But hopefully it won't happen all the time. But it is going to happen. It happens to me a lot. And people think that because I'm a royal diamond, it doesn't happen to you. I'm going to tell you it happens a lot, because I probably talk with a lot more people than maybe you do. Because we have to talk with people. So I talk with a lot of people, which means I get a lot more rejection. TED Talk, turning rejection into success. Awesome. You're great. So, how do you deal with it? Because you're on a quest for self-mastery and success. And you want success, and you want that next level, and you want to make a lot more income and everything else. And rejections are part of the stepping stones. So here's a couple of thoughts. One is how do we deal with it in the heart? Well, how do we deal with it in the mind? A couple of things from me, and then I want you to open when you're ready to speak on either the victory and the mastery or the rejection piece. A couple of things I do: the emotion code I spoke about, releasing the heart wall, so you don't have all that trapped emotion in there. It will make it a lot easier. So that is crucial. And by the way, I've been doing it for a few other people in surrogation, and I will tell you, every single one of us has, as the first ones that want to be released are the biggest and most important. It is shocking, but every single one of us has worthlessness and unworthy. And I really believe in Nikken, the number one reason more people aren't successful yet is unworthiness and worthlessness. Those feelings are very deeply embedded. We need to release them. So we're not living with that and living our life from that place unconsciously. Excuse me. So the emotion code is huge. There's forgiveness. Because we tend to contract, the ego contracts. Why don't you like me? Why don't you believe me? Why don't you trust me? And trust me, I go through all those myself, especially the trust. I'm like, why do you think I wouldn't be intelligent enough to know what's good for your health? Or why aren't you intelligent enough to know what's good for your health? Or, there's stuff goes on, right? The ego will react, but we want to come from a spiritual response. That's a much bigger response, a much healthier response. So one thing is just, the forgiveness of yourself. Maybe I didn't say it right or do it right, forgiveness of the other. The Hawaiian prayer is very powerful. That's the little prayer that says, you know, you say it in your mind to them or in your heart really to them. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you. And you just do it over and over. I love you. I'm sorry. Even if you don't know what you're sorry about, even if you don't know what you did wrong, you know, please forgive me. I don't know really why you need to forgive me, but maybe you do. So please forgive me and thank you. And this is a very powerful prayer. And then gratitude for the opportunity to bring Nikken to them, regardless. And you know, they may take it up later. And then celebration. And the celebration is a cool one because celebration is, I am one step closer to a yes. I am one step closer. All those no's are a one step closer to a yes. And that's a celebration. And that's turning it, right? That's turning it from a rejection. And it's not a rejection of you, although it feels like a rejection of us personally. And I am super, super sensitive, as are you. So you know, that ego part takes it very personally. But you know, I can't afford to, because if I did, it would take me down. And I wouldn't want to open my mouth and talk to the next person, right? It would take us down. And sometimes it does take us out. And that's why I want to hear from you and what you do so that it doesn't take you down. It doesn't take you out of the game, because it is the one thing that can, either your own self-rejection and your own self-talk or the rejection of others. Whether it's your spouse, your number one prospect is your partner. If your prospect is not in line with you, with Nikken, it's very hard to succeed. I don't know if I've seen anyone succeed where the partner is dead against it. I'm going to be honest. It's too difficult because they're your partner and you're too susceptible to their mind thinking. You're sleeping next to them. You're getting their energy all the time. If they're not on board with you, it's very hard to make this happen. So you got to have, they're your number one prospect. You got to find a way to turn them around. So let's hear from, who wants to speak, either on the victory part or on the rejection and how you handle it part. I'm not going to unmute everyone because it'll get really noisy. So just unmute yourself.
Julie?
Yeah.
It's Barb.
Yeah.
I just happened to come across a very short video yesterday done by, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Siebold.
Oh.
And he was talking about Bill Gove giving him the best advice ever. And the advice was, and he said to him, if you want to earn $200,000, $300,000 a year, keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to be in the seven figures, whatever you're going to be presenting to anybody, you practice, 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 practice every single day. And he said, I took his advice to heart. And he said, the people that I held on a high pedestal for what they were doing, by taking Bill Gove's advice, I surpassed them not only in earnings, but in general success. So there you are with your point 5 and 6.
I love that, Barbara. Thank you so much. Steve Siebold used to work with us, actually, and so did Bill Gove. And Bill Gove was one of the most famous teachers of public speaking, actually. And he taught us a lot. He would critique us. Randy remembers he would do these critiques for us. And he'd always say to me, you're wonderful, but you speak too fast. You have to slow down. And I'm like, I don't know how to slow down. It was always really funny. But I'm sure many of you remember Linda, you remember Barbara, you remember. And so just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man. And both of them actually beautiful men. So that's great advice. So yes, Madeline wants to speak. Madeline, can you unmute?
I just did. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the practice and the team. And you've talked about both of those. So there are several of us on here that are on other teams together on the Platinum Alliance and weekly events that we've been doing and other calls. And we've become better friends and we help one another. And the practicing, and I'm looking at Barbara Joseph right before coming on to this call, in practicing presentations, changing slides, adding the feminine. I'm going to be doing a presentation tomorrow for lunch with a Rotary group. And they don't want a sales pitch. And I know 2/3 of them, some of them going back 40 years. So it's being able to have the practice of someone that I trust, and the practice that I've had this year to get over a lot of the rejection. And in that group will be those that have rejected, the financial people. Well, why aren't you the Royal Diamond? That they've already called a few to interview to get some tips of what they thought I should do because they've heard me present. And having someone from this group and having this forum, I just jotted down a few more ideas from what you shared. So it has been critical for me, time intensive and tedious to practice every week on those product showcases. There are many here that participate with us, but we've really helped one another. And others have had, and Hattie Jane is such an excellent example of blossoming under Randy's mentorship. And so this is so critical. So for the people that are listening today and those that we're going to share this with,
Yes.
that practice piece is critical, and this support of having someone that understands what you're doing. Because it is humans being more and a wellness home concept. Concepts are difficult to articulate and market. And so we really do have to be present in our being and confident in ourselves. And that mind and heart is so important, so critical.
Thank you, Madeline. Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Barbara, Joseph.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it's interesting for me. It may not even be rejection. It's just that if I'm meeting with someone and it hasn't progressed to the next step the way I'm perceiving I want it to, I go back in my head and I play it over, like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? And I always come up with, I wasn't integrity. There might have been something I could have done better, but I never felt like I haven't done anything that wasn't genuine and of integrity. So then it's changing that self-talk, like you talked about my why and where I'm going and what my vision is. Now I am going to admit that even though I do those things that you listed, I don't necessarily feel like I can say that I've been doing it every day to that degree. So I am reaffirming, and what's the word I want? Recommitting to making that happen, because that changes everything energetically. And it's different than the going for a walk or dancing. It's really getting that locked in solid. So thank you.
Yes, brilliant, Barbara. Absolutely. It's sort of like when we used to have HBM being 2 days. Remember the shift that would happen when people released everything on the first night and forgave, and then the second day how they would come in and it was literally like somebody turned the lights on in the room. You're like, everybody's so bright. That's that rewiring of the brain and the heart releasing. It's sadness and betrayal or whatever, and it's just coming back forward into full soul expression, shall we say. Mm-hmm. So that's a beautiful thing. And that's how, very often when somebody says, I'm going diamond or I'm going platinum or whatever, you can feel if it's true. You can see it if it's true. You can see it in the eyes and you can feel the vibration, and you can know. Or if it's just something they're saying because they think they should, or, they want to, but it isn't really aligned yet. It really isn't embodied yet. So it's a big difference. It's night and day. Mm-hmm. So that's great. So learn to see that within yourself and in others too.
Julie, if I could just add one more thing. You mentioned the alignment, and Mike's call on Monday night, Align with Success, they're recorded. He is the epitome of vibrations, and not everybody agrees with who he is or his philosophy, but it has been an amazing continuing education. And again, a lot of the same people that are on here and helping us grow. There is the male and female difference, but we've grown and adding our comments. Yes, we have. And so I think it is very important for us to expose ourselves to the leaders like you and like him in our company that stayed and in fact have gone through those valleys and are very confident about the future. You catch those vibrations as we are from you today.
Yeah.
That is energy.
Thank you, Madeline. And we love the guys. It's not, this call is not because we don't love the guys. We love the guys. This is just, we want the women to come together just for the women sometimes. So that's why we do these calls. And then we just have a little different focus on it. So who else would like to touch on either spiritual success, what that means to you, your true victory? Randy.
Julie, what really spoke to me most right now is the idea of celebration to overcome rejection. I'm big on celebration. I always, when I do parenting counseling, I'm always talking about celebrating your children, celebrating the fact they're in your life. And my husband and I celebrate our anniversary every month. So I hadn't really thought about that, celebrating that moment of rejection as a step forward to the next. Yes, so it feels like a wonderful, easy way of just letting go of whatever that is. You do what Barbara said of, okay, what might I have done differently? But then letting it go and celebrating is a wonderful way to let go. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. And you really are fabulous at celebrating. We notice it on Facebook. And by the way, let's all connect on Facebook and we see, like Randy puts great pictures. She always does celebrations, the birthdays and anniversaries. And I agree with you. I think it's really important to celebrate because life will have its ups and downs. And because we all are here to learn and to grow. And so, the celebrations are really important to put emphasis on that life is beautiful and that we're very happy to be here on the planet. And, we're here to do great work and love one another and forgive one another and so on and so forth. So this is important. So yes, celebrate when you let go. And remember that in letting go, they may come back. And if you, in doing the prayer, I love you and I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. They may well come back. It may be next month. It may be in 10 years. We don't know. But they may very often come back because most of you said no too. And I know I said no at least twice before I said yes to Nikken. So it's never a permanent rejection. And it's not a rejection of you either. It's not a rejection of you. It's usually just a misunderstanding about what we're actually offering. And it's just timing. They're just not ready. It's not right. Anyone else? We're going to have just one more and then we're going to complete because I don't want to keep this over. Linda, yeah.
Julie, I'd like to share.
Barbara Bertucci and I have been, as of last month, we are committed to have over our 3,000 for Italy. So we've been texting each other how many dollars we had left to go. And I actually went over suddenly 500 this morning somehow. And I'm like, okay, well, let's plan on 5,000 personal volume for next month. And that way 3,000 will be even easier. Yeah. So we've been keeping it. And so we're having our own little celebrations and oh, I got this and I'm here that now. So, sometimes it is just having that buddy and it is celebrating. And like Barb Satterwhite did a phone call with me this morning with a very detail oriented, challenging customer I've had for 22 years. And when I got her on the phone and this woman wasn't even letting anybody talk. I'm like, so did you want me to cancel the order? Did you not want to talk to Barb? And Barb actually jumped in and just kind of saved the day because I was done. And after that, I went for a walk. Just before this, I just went for a walk around my block just to clear my head and that energy, because sometimes people do come across as energy vampires.
Oh yeah.
And you just got to get out and change the energy or phone a friend to get back. And then I had a client, he emailed me this morning and he called me. He's like, I want to come over and record a testimony on a Kinko Touch for you. And I had somebody else do that a few days ago, and we're going to create 4 videos because we're having such good results. So, every day we have some of this, throughout the whole day, it's like that. It used to be one day's like this, the next day like that. Now it's like that throughout the whole, every day.
Yes.
And then you get a text message about, oh, I'm so happy about this. Thank you so much. And I'm like,
aww.
So it is celebrating. That's important.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Yeah, it will go up and down constantly. And we never know. And it is just so much about how we respond to life versus just reacting to it, So I think that's really beautiful. And congratulations on just keeping your focus. And, obviously we all get paid because of volume. So volume and focus on volume is key. And what is that? It's people, it's education, it's people wanting what we have. So it always comes back to interconnection and relationship. And that's why women are so good at network marketing. They're so good, they're so natural, because that's what we do anyway. You know, there's a great new restaurant, and, you know, I think you'd love it, and then you're gonna go because you're my friend and I recommended it and you trust me. I mean, it's really that simple.
You know, there's something else. Barbara Bertucci introduced me to ClardyM.com. And this woman, how we used to say, I'm so happy and grateful now. And it becomes like more by rote. We're not actually getting excited about it anymore. So this woman said to shift it to something that is exciting. It's like, woohoo, I'm so excited now that whatever has happened. Or I'm so happy in my new house that is just so peaceful and loving. So maybe not being so specific and changing the words so that they do inspire you, especially if it's things that you've said for a long time that no longer inspires you. Yep. Put your energy into it in a way that it now does inspire you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. All right, my friends, I know we've gone a little over, and we're trying to aim for our 30 minutes, and it's obviously quite challenging because we all love this, and so, but we have gone a little over, so I'm going to stop the recording. And thank you all for being on, and please bring at least one person on each time if you can. And that way we'll grow this call and we'll create a bigger and bigger buzz in Nikken, which is an important thing to do. It's very much important that we promote and that we grow. And so I thank you all for being, and happy spring. And let's go plant and fertilize the soil and see what beautiful flowers we can help come out of the ground. And I really think Nikken is such a feminine model. I just love it for that. And I don't think I'd be with it if it wasn't, probably. So I love being with you, my sisters. Thank you all so much. And
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter. And we'll be on next week.
Happy Passover.
Bye, everyone. Much love. Many blessings. Bye.